Bringing it back. Okay. I feel kind of intimidated because, or actually, no, she left. June was hanging out backstage, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna get judged for how I talk through these hands now that she's gone.
No, why? Because she's so articulate. She sounds so
Yes.
much like Berkey.
Oh my
She sounds
God.
so much like Berkey and Chris. Like just
talking
about the game trait, like specifically, like I'd be surprised if she hasn't been coached by Chris.
That's when
at
you
some
know
point,
that
'cause
you've
talked to
done
Chris.
some Berkey work. As soon as the word game tree comes out of your mouth, that's when you know you've listened to Matt Berkey a couple of times.
Yeah.
So here, very excited to present to all of you wonderful, wonderful people, some viewer hand histories. Feel free to DM us at any time with hand histories. We're more than happy to go through them. We'll send you guys feedback, and then if the hand history is good, we might just bring it onto the show. So here we have Let Me Limp here in the hijack with Jack 10 of diamonds in a 3-6 in a limit game. Nice and deep. I guess over 100 big blinds deep, not that deep, but the under the gun opens to 18, and we're here with Jack 10 of diamonds under the gun 1. I mean, you're not just always 3-betting this hand, are you? Are you folding it some portion of the time as well?
It depends. It depends. It's very player dependent. I mean, if someone who's opening 4 or 5% of hands, I'm like,
yeah, it's
not
just like
3-betting it. I'm just it's going into the muck. But if it's someone who's opening a lot, who's been pretty active, I'll probably 3-bet it like a decent frequency. Honestly, like 40 to 60%.
Especially this short-handed as well, right? Like if this is a full ring game, you might just want to.
We're in the hijack.
Yeah, we're in the hijack. Exactly. Yeah. If this were a full ring game and you're under the gun 1, there's still 7 other people to get through. I think it is more arguable for just like folding this the vast majority of the time, unless under the gun, like you said, is opening a lot of hands from first position.
Yeah, I'm a lot.
So hijack does, hero does opt to put in the 3-bet here up to 51, which I'm trying to do the math. Is that a little under 3x?
Yeah,
30 plus 24 is 54. Yeah, so it's a little under 3x. Quick maths. Thank you, poker. I mean, I wish it was just 3x, like I don't understand why it's smaller than 3x. I think 3x is kind of like what you should be going. I think it looks
really
here.
Strong, and considering the configuration, I don't think it's horrible. He's going to do
we're super tight configuration. That's totally fair. We're not really expecting this to get cold called as much as if we like 3-bet the cutoff.
And that's exactly why we don't feel like I think it's okay.
Okay. All right. And it folds around, and we are going to go heads up with the under the gun player. And we get a pretty nice flop. We got a diamond on there. We've got an open ender. No immediate showdown value. And under the gun
35.
Check. What was that?
I'd bet like 35.
Yeah, I'm with you.
What do we do?
I bet 37, which again we like. I think bet small is really the option we go with here because like we can play this very straight up. Like we can call raises and then operate on turns and rivers really well. Like this is just a great hand. Like we're not very concerned about things. So we make this bet and we do just get flat called. Ideal. We love that. We're getting the right price to draw. Bang. Bink City. And it's a rainbow board. You love to see this. Under the gun puts in a check again. What would you size here? Out of curiosity, you bet small flop.
We don't have to. We don't have to go massive. This isn't right. This is a card that he's going to have a lot of, so he could have a decent amount of tens. I mean, 10 jack, generally speaking. But yeah, so I don't think we have to go massive here. I think anywhere in the neighborhood from like 85 to 110 is fine. I'd probably size like 95 here. But I would not go massive. There's no need to.
If this turn were a club, like the 8 of clubs or the 8
You
of hearts,
size
would
up.
you go
You size
size
more
up
up.
larger?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I agree. And we go with 70. I think is that was on the smaller side. We wanted to go. What was the one you said? You said
85. I said
85.
85. So
It's like 100,
but I think
right?
70 is okay. You can go small, and I mean,
yeah. At the end of the day, you are giving yourself wait, we're already there. What am I saying? Not a slightly better price to draw. I guess I don't like it because I'm going back and forth here because it is a rainbow board.
yeah.
If this had a tone of some kind, I feel like sizing any larger than this would make sense. But this is fine. Our villain does opt to put in the call.
Horrible card.
River here is the queen of diamonds. Yikers. Villain has like all of the sets in range. Like 9, 7s, and 8s are all definitely.
I have seen this hand. I haven't seen the other ones I sent you. I've seen this hand, and I disagree with Hero's action.
Here, under the gun, donks 204. This
no bluffs
is a call. If this is a call or this is a fold, depending.
I shouldn't say there are no bluffs. I misspoke. There are no thin values that do this as a bluff.
Right.
Why are we raising? What calls that bets? You think if ace queen bets, you still think they're calling? No chance.
No shot.
No, and they're not betting. They're check calling. They're going into so name it. I can't name a single hand that would do this that we beat. I just can't. So I just like a call. I really, really, really respect this player and think he's a very good player, but this is just a call, bro.
Yeah, I think this is a call. Absolutely. I don't think you should be raising this because, like you said, like at the end of the day, even if villain is going to bet ace queen, they're not going to bet this sizing. They're not going to go this big. They're going to put in like a very small blockish style bet, trying to get you to put in a call with a 9, a 7, or an 8.
This screams sevens.
Yeah, this is a 2/3 thick value sizing. Like this guy either has a boat or he has absolutely nothing. Like he's not doing this with a queen. And so Hero opts to stack off to put in the rest.
It's value on ourselves.
Yeah, because I think when you look at this, it's just like, what are you being called by? It's only boats. Like
is it 7s or 9s?
I think it's 8s.
Oh, it's 8s. Whoa. We're both wrong.
8s that floated flop and drilled the turn and then boated up on river. Jeez.
That's pretty.
That's kind of the worst case scenario in terms of things. But yeah, I think it's just a bit of an overplay. I think, like Bryce said, you just got to look at that spot on the river and say, what am I being called by when I put in this jam on the river? And I think you're just folding out if he even does have a bluff there, which, like we said, is so unlikely. You're just going to fold it out with the raise. So it doesn't make much sense. Here we have a dear friend of the podcast, Gradit Dude Poker. Go check him out on Instagram. His content is absolutely fantastic. I think he's just the most lovable human being on earth. He's making me an acrylic like pyramid with red pocket 9s in it, which is my favorite hand. And I just like that's like the coolest gift ever. And I can't thank him enough. I think that's so cool that he does that stuff. So anyway, sidebar, go check him out. He's amazing. This hand comes from a private game out there on the West Coast with an absolutely unreal rake structure. What did he say it was? It was like 10% up to like $50.
$75. Up to 75. No, that's dude. Cali Games. I know Cali Games that was 125 a hand.
Yeah, wow. So yeah, just be aware of the home games you're playing in and their rake structure, because that does make it very, very difficult to beat. So
Cali,
the lower stakes you play for, the better off you are. We got a raise here from Under the Gun 1, low jack calls, high jack calls, and the button calls. And here we are in the small blind with pocket 6s.
Okay, we're calling. Next.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is great because it's just like, it's such a super straightforward spot. Like when we have these middling pocket pairs and we're out of position, it's like set or nothing, It's like one of those things where like we're either going to flop the world or we're going to flop
suicide if you raise. This is suicide. You're getting such good.
Yeah. And how are you going to get through everybody? I just don't see it. So we do put in just the flat call, big blind folds for some unknown reason, and we go to a flop. We flop an overpair with pocket 6s. A very rare occurrence in Hold'em. And we are going to tap the table here, as Bryce showed, and we're going to check. And action is going to fully check through on the flop. Turn comes 4 clubs. We still have an overpair with pocket 6s on this board, and nobody has c-bet the flop. Are you ever leading this turn into 4 opponents?
Too many people. I think I'm just checking. And people,
because I think that somebody can have a 4 here, right? Like the 4, like on its face, you're like, oh, like I still have an overpair, but like the 4 is not a good card. Like someone in the field can have a 4 here. Can they really have a 4 here? Maybe
ace 4, yeah.
They could ace 4, yeah. They could just be flatting with ace 4.
Absolutely.
But that's only suited. A couple combos. But yes, there are 4s that exist, and we don't really want to be fighting too hard for this one while it's so multi-way. Checks over here to the hijack, who's been tagged as like a loose, aggressive Armenian guy, which I totally resonate with because I feel like no matter where you are in the country, every single poker room has this guy. There's one at the Mohegan Sun who like wears like the Albanian crest as like a gold necklace around his neck, and like I'm literally just seeing him like in his red spiked up hair and his what are they wearing, like a sweatsuit, like a whole jogger outfit.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah, they're at every casino, 100%. Curtis does mention that the button has the most for 4s. He's completely correct. Yes. And the first caller shouldn't have too many.
That's a good point. So the hijack lag bets out 175, folds to us here. Interesting. I mean, I don't really know. Like
he has a ton of draws. We call, and if we get a call behind, we think we're pretty effing dead. But against the hijack specifically, he does have a ton of club draws, and he should be betting when he's checked 2 on the flop for protection with his overpairs. Most of the time. So if he has the 7s, the 8s, hands of that nature, he should be betting that on the flop because you need a ton of protection against 4 opponents. So yeah.
And I guess like under the gun and low jack could in theory have something like 7s or 8s and have checked the flop because they had so many people to get through. I guess that's a little bit crazy because most recreational poker players are going to c-bet when they have an overpair, no matter what it is, but I guess they can. Yeah. I don't want to say it's entirely out of their possibility. Yeah. So we put in just the flat call, and we get another call from the low jack player as well.
So that is one issue. Like just playing out of position this entire hand with 6s, it's just hard to function. So we're putting in a decent percent of our stack, we're putting in 5.5% of our stack, and we're gonna see trouble most of the time when we flop decent.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. And like as we're saying, like anytime that you're in position with things, it's just going to make your life infinitely easier. And with weird hands like this, where equity realization is going to be very muddy, like most of the time on this flop, the vast majority of the time you're going to see an overcard on the turn, and the vast majority of the time you're going to see another overcard on the river. You know, like that's just how it's going to go with the number of cards that are left in the deck. So it's just going to be really hard for 6s to make it to showdown, be the best hand, and be navigable on those streets.
Yeah,
I used big words there. I'm proud of myself.
Massive word. Confusing.
River's a deuce for a final board of 5-4 deuce, a 4 deuce.
Check, obviously.
Yeah, check it. Hope to God it checks through and someone has a club draw. And our hijack lag bets out here for 400.
This sucks having a player behind us.
It sucks being stuck in between. Like I think that's the real problem with being in the small blind here, is that you're like caught in the crossfire.
I fold if this player wasn't in the hand. I snap call.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think it sucks. What is low jack calling with behind? You know,
like
I feel like that's a spot where they can flat a 4. Like they don't have to.
Yeah, it's nuts. We still have an overpair. Curtis says. I agree.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so unlikely. It is so unlikely.
I don't hate a call, but I'm just so afraid of the player behind us. Are we just both putting them on draws?
Yeah.
And if so, what draws? 3x draws? I don't think so. The club draw, like what they both.
Because people always mistake that when they're thinking about like from just like a combos perspective. Like there are way more combos of like one pair hand than there are of like a draw, of like a club draw specifically. Like, because you're limiting your hands to just that one suit for combinations. Like, it's just going to be less combinations.
One thing to note, though, is when we call, if someone does have a marginally better overpair, like 7s or 8s, he has to fold. That's a really good point Curtis makes. That if we do call,
I didn't
because we
even
are bluff
think
catching,
about
the person behind us is inclined to fold a better hand than us. So I actually do very much agree with that. I don't know. It's just so tough. I don't know if in game I can find the call, but I actually do think we can be calling a lot here.
It's a very rare circumstance, like we said, that we would be having an overpair with 6s.
And I feel like we're good, and this is being sent in as like a hero submission. That's my assumption.
So if you put in the call, the low jack ends up folding, and our lag friend has the good old 3-7 of clubs.
Boom, baby.
Absolutely nada.
He has 2 pair. He has 2 pair.
Yeah, he's got 2 pair. 2 pair with 7 kicker. Is it good? Is it good? No. Probably not. I don't think so.
But
oh man,
yeah, thank you for the submission. Ace 4 prop goes bigger on the river. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I really liked Curtis's logic on that last hand. Thank you guys for tuning in, both to the June segment as well as to the hand history segment. Very much appreciated, and thank you for the submissions. We look forward to reviewing more next week. I got a ton this week, including Curtis's, which cannot wait to review. And thank you guys again for another great week. Ryan, any closing thoughts?
Nope. As always, Bryce, you say all the brilliant things and then you throw it to me and there's nothing left to be said.
Smash that like and subscribe button. Come on.
There you go. Exactly. Smash that like and subscribe button, and we will see you guys next week.